My husband was going through his cancer treatments and they had one of those late night commercials, the really terrible, are you a firefighter? Do you have testicular cancer? Or have you handled foam? And he was yes to all of those things.
And when they came to me and they said, well, your water tested at 38,000 parts per trillion, I said, 38's less than 70. And they had to explain, no, you have all these zeros at the end of yours.
People just don't know about it. Our job, especially for me as a veteran, is to try and get veterans to understand that when they were on every military base in the United States, they were exposed to this.
So PFAS stands for per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. It's a mouthful. So we tend to call them forever chemicals. They're permanent, they live forever, they don't break down, they're not naturally found. These are synthetic chemicals that are completely man-made. They're altering us at a cellular level. They're endocrine disrupting, hormone disrupting.
PFAS is a class of chemicals that were used originally as 3M Scotchgard, and then 3M sold it to DuPont, who created Teflon from it. PFAS is the 9,000 variants of those two chemicals that they have created that get around the ban.
It reminds me kind of, I guess, the movie Jurassic Park. Dinosaurs were fun to look at until they got out of control, and now we have no way to control this dinosaur. Where my husband and I bought our first home was surrounded by a Christmas tree farm. 20 years later, in 2016, Joel developed liver cancer and died within 3 weeks. The next year is when Department of Environmental Quality came to my home and told me that they've suspected our groundwater was contaminated. Turned out the Christmas tree farm was a dump site from Wolverine Worldwide, the shoe company.
In our group, we're asking for some really powerful prayers for family, parents, and siblings with some incredibly serious health problems, terminal cancers, recurrent cancers. I'm terrified. I raised my children on this water, and I don't know what that means.
The foam that the firefighter sprayed, including my husband, were sprayed. They were sprayed on our friends' and family's homes, and we didn't know. What I felt was, wow, had we been given this information, we could have stopped that.
In 2020, my doctor found that I also had thyroid cancer. And so my first thought was, after going through those 3 weeks with Joel and watching him die, that I was going to have to go through that as well, but just go through it by myself.
My 19-year-old daughter, Tiana, she died from a very rare cancer-related disease that I believe was caused by PFAS. I mean, they had been dumping these chemicals into these washes, community washes, unlined ditches, and landfills. There was no law against it.
I really worry that so many people are having this, being exposed to this, drinking this, and they have no way of knowing. You can't taste it, you can't smell it, you can't see it.
Our chemical and regulatory system has failed us. Every step we delay, we're allowing more people to be exposed.
It's not just a North Carolina story. It's not just a West Virginia story. This is not even just an American story. There's plenty of scientific information out there to regulate PFAS as a class. And we can all work together and realize that and come to a really healthy solution and save not just our generation, but generations to come. Because if we don't start acting now, it may be too late.